Good morning. I'm the lead lab technician for the Rio Salado Science Lab, and I'm here today to share with you how we serve. The primary responsibility of the science lab team is to produce kits for the majority of Rio's online science student lab courses. And although a few of our courses, such as the Geology 103, 104, and 111, no longer need kits because they have become virtual courses, the majority of our lab courses require lab materials and equipment in order for students to complete their assignments. Once the kits are produced, we also are responsible for distributing the kits either to our military students or to the bookstore so that they can send kits to the students. We are part of the Instruction and Support Department under, you're 2 slides back, under the supervision of Ernestine Harrison, the Associate Dean of Instruction and Support. The lab produces kits for most of our biology, chemistry, and physical science lab courses. We produce 4 biology kits, and the picture on the right shows a kit for marine biology, Bio 105. And notice the giant squid in the upper left corner. This really grosses our lab techs out when they have to box this kit. But they're about 12 to 16 inches in length. We also produce kits for chemistry courses. We have 5 lab courses. As you can see, the number of items and the amount of packaging that we need to produce a lab kit for chemistry is very labor intensive and takes a lot of accuracy when we're doing that, so we don't make mistakes. We also produce kits for 5 physical science courses. The PHY 111 course, General Physics 1, has just undergone a major revision after having been retired for a few years. And we're in the process of developing and producing the kit for that class, which will come online in fall. The primary goal of our science team is to astonish our customers. We astonish customers by producing high-quality lab kits that are consistently accurate and look like they have been professionally prepared. And that wasn't the case when I first started working here. So we've come a long way in what the kit looks like and what they receive. We astonish our customers by making sure kits are produced and distributed to customers in a timely manner, and by assuring there are always enough kits in inventory to fill the bookstore orders and to send to our military students, as they need to have the kits. Students need their kits probably 2 weeks prior to their science course. And that way they have time to look at the kit materials, become familiar with them, and also let us know if there's any items that are missing or broken, so they have what they need in order to do the labs. We also astonish our customers by developing processes that maximize our efficiency so we can produce kits at minimal cost to our students. We don't make money on the kits, we just break even, or we try to break even. The decisions we make as a department, we keep relentless improvement in mind. And we make data-driven decisions in order to help us achieve our goal of astonishing our customers. We use the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle along with the data that we collect from a variety of sources to make informed decisions that allow us to maximize our efficiency and better serve our customers. We constantly monitor and track the accuracy of our production processes in order to identify ways to maximize production efforts, minimize production and delivery times, work more efficiently as a team, and improve service to our customers. Our 2 main internal customers are faculty members and military advisement. We work closely with the science faculty chairs, Robert Semler and Shannon Corona, to design lab kits for newly implemented or revised science lab courses. We also are responsible for sending lab kits to adjunct faculty members as new courses are developed or revised. Because the science lab is responsible for sending the kits directly to our military students, we have to work closely with the military advisement department, another internal customer, to ensure that the military students receive their kits prior to the start date of their science courses. And this takes a lot of communication between our departments to ensure students receive their kits in time. Many students are in the process of beginning a course and then they're reassigned to another stateside base, military base, or they're deployed or stationed overseas. So we have a lot of coordination to do in order to help these students be successful and make sure that they have the materials they need to be successful in their course. The bookstore and Rio Salado students are our two main external customers. The bookstore disseminates the kits that we produce to the majority of our students. When the bookstore inventory for a kit is low, an order is created and sent to the lab. We then generate an invoice, pull the kits from inventory, and deliver them to the bookstore so students receive their kits in a timely manner. Our most important customer externally are our students. The majority of non-military students purchase and receive kits by ordering them through the bookstore. Now, at one time when I first came, the lab was responsible for that, but it became a nightmare. So we were very happy to give that responsibility to the bookstore. Some students, like the one you see here, come to the bookstore to purchase their lab kits, but most find it more convenient to order them directly online. Most of the military students receive tuition assistance that includes funds to cover the lab kit fee or cost of the kit. And once military advisement representative enrolls the military student in a lab course and attaches the fee to the student's account, we receive notice of enrollment along with pertinent information for the student. We then generate a dissemination report and labels and prepare the kits for sending to the students. Occasionally, a military student might request that the kit be couriered directly to Luke Air Force Base, and we do that for them to make it easier. But most of our kits we either mail or FedEx to students. And if they're stationed overseas, we also have to fill out a customs form. And so for military students overseas, it may take over a month for students to receive a kit. And so we have to really, like I said, work with the military advisement people to get enough information in time to make sure that the kit's sent. Our current location is on the 3rd floor of this building in room 330. And we've been in that location, I think, for 3 years. And I thought you might like to see what our lab looks like inside. This is just a picture showing the storage area for the biology materials and the biology kits. And then we have a section in the lab also for our physical science kits, along with, we share the lab with dental assisting and dental hygiene. So we're pretty crowded. Now, if you need to get a hold of the science lab, you can just look in the phone directory under Instructional Help Desk Science Lab. You can phone the lab directly, or you can call or email me, and there's the information for that. They asked me to share what's new. Well, what's new is that the lab is moving to a new site. Our new location will be across the street on the northwest corner of the building complex, directly across the street from this main campus. We're right next door to the new maintenance and operation department. Now, I thought I'd use my scientific data that I talked about collecting to show you how we astonish our customers. For the past 4 years, we have tracked and recorded the number of reported student issues or concerns with our lab kits. We have data for 5 categories, items that have broken in shipping, students breaking items, most of the time that's thermometers that roll off the counter, production errors on our part, and equipment malfunction. The two areas we have the most control over are the shipping breakage and the production errors. And you can see from this graph that the number of reported concerns have decreased in these two categories for the past several years. If you take all 5 categories into account, there has been an annual decrease of 15% in the number of reported concerns and an overall decrease of 28% from the years 2000 to 2012. From 2009 to date, the lab has produced almost 14,000 lab kits, 3,920 to be exact. We have only 192 reported issues or concerns, and that gives us an accuracy rate of 98.6%. And I think that is customer astonishment. Thank you.
Well, my name is Andrea Pasquale, and I'm the Manager of Programming and Volunteers for Sun Sounds of Arizona. And we are a part of, and I'll tell you what Sun Sounds does. All right, you might have heard of us, maybe you haven't, but that's why I'm here. We are a reading and information service. Our mission statement is that we provide audio access and information to people who cannot read because they have a disability. Now, the next slide will tell you who the listeners are. And they are anyone who cannot read or hold print material due to a disability. Around the state, we have 49,000 listeners, and they may include people with low vision or who are blind or have other visual disabilities. They may include people that have dyslexia who cannot read print, people who maybe cannot hold print material, maybe severe arthritis where they can't hold or turn pages of print material. But we broadcast our programming to about 49,000 people across the state of Arizona. Next slide. And you're probably wondering how we fit in, because we're a little bit different than a lot of the other departments. We are the people on the 4th floor. Not many people go to the 4th floor or know what's there. It's like sometimes the black hole of the tower building with all the glass and the steel. But this is who we are, this is where we're located. And we are part of the Division of Public Service. And that also includes KBOC and KJazz Radio, and also Spot 127, which is located on Thomas. And that is where they have a student-operated radio station. KBOC and KJazz are the public radio stations, and we are all together in one department. So the 4th floor is the radio station floor. If you ever want to come for a tour of the 4th floor, see what it's like, take the mystique out, feel free. We have broadcast studios throughout the entire floor. We have them for KBOC and KJazz. Also, Sun Sounds has 4 studios, 6 recording booths, and that's where we have volunteers that come in and do the recording. Next slide. Well, this is our main studio. We are located here in Tempe, but we have affiliate stations to cover other areas of the state. And they are located in Tucson and in Flagstaff. And we also have another office in Yuma. And we just, I think 2 days ago, got a brand new recording booth up. So now we are able to record some programming down there. And our broadcast goes 24/7, 365. We don't shut down. So while you guys are on vacation or while you're away for the weekend, we are still broadcasting. And we always have someone there, well, most of the time, but not all the time. And we put it on autopilot, and that's how we do it. Flagstaff and Tucson, they take our main programming. We broadcast books, newspapers, and magazines. They take our programming, and then they fill it in with their own local newspapers or magazines. So for instance, Flagstaff doesn't really want Our Arizona Republic. That's not their news. So what they do is they cut away during a broadcast and they read their own local newspapers. Tucson does the same thing. And down the road, we're going to try to get Yuma to do that also. Next slide. Now, our philosophy at Sun Sounds is we don't edit the material we read except for time. We don't editorialize. We know that our listeners have their own opinions, as we all do, and they don't really care what ours are. So we do not edit material, we do not editorialize, and we don't sanitize. If they're swearing, if there's different situations in it, we read it as is, because we are just the conduit from the author to the listener. So when our volunteers come in to read, that is what they do. They pick out their material, they pick out their articles, and they read the broadcast. And we rely on over 500 volunteers from around the state to help us with our programming. We have about 250 here at the Tempe studio. Next slide. Well, how do listeners hear us? A lot of different ways. We have individually tuned sun sound radios. And what these radios are, it means you can't go out to your car, tune it in, and listen to us. These are specially tuned, internally tuned radios that we send to a listener who needs it. The service and the radios are free. Somebody fills out an application, they say, my mom, or I need a radio, can you help me out? And we pack up a radio. And again, these are just internal radios. You cannot get it on any outside radio. You can't get it on the radio at your home or in your car. You need the special radio. We also have a Sundial 2 telephone access system. And this is where somebody can call in and access our stream, also access websites and any programs that we have podcasted, and they can play them on demand. We also stream our audio online. If you go to sunsounds.org, you can hear us there. You can listen to our programming at any time, day or night. We have some programs that we have podcasts. You can go to iTunes and download them. If you have a smartphone, you can go to an app called iBlink, and that application is for mainly people with visual disabilities. And you can also not only get sun sounds, but you can also get reading services around the country on this app. HD radio is another way to receive us, and HD radio, I don't know how many people are familiar with HD radio, but public radio downstairs broadcasts in HD. A special radio is needed for this, but that you can go out to any store and buy. And we broadcast on K-Box HD3, so it's kind of like their hidden radio channels, and we broadcast on one of them. So anybody can go out, get an HD radio, and can listen to us. We're also on Time Warner Cable in Yuma, and many hospitals, assisted living communities, and retirement homes also have us internally. Now, we have this great service, we broadcast all this material, but we cannot promote it to the public. We promote it for only people that need it because of a disability. Types of programming that we have, you name it, we have it. We have a half-hour program, hour programs. Some programs are live. Our morning and evening newspapers are live. Most of our programs are pre-recorded, so our volunteers come in whenever they want. They record it, and we plug it into the computer, and it plays at its time slot. Our programming could be on a single magazine or newspaper, or a compilation that deals with a single topic. And we also get programming from other affiliate stations in Flagstaff and Tucson, or other reading services around the country. Our program topics include everything you see there: news, sports, philosophy, culture, home and garden, politics, aging, disability news, consumer, entertainment, Spanish programming. We do a little bit of everything. And I always joke that we're the only station and the only type of radio that offers programming from kids' stories all the way up to Playboy and Penthouse, and everything in between. Now, of course, some of the adult material, we do that a little bit later on in the evening, but our kids' programming is really popular, not only with kids, but also with adults as well, because when the kids come home from school, they can listen to the radio with their kids or their grandkids. And our most popular programming is probably the newspapers. Second most popular are the grocery ads. You know, you take it for granted, you go to the newspaper, you grab the grocery ads, you see what's on sale. If you didn't have your site, or you were not able to hold material, how would you get that information? Our listeners tune into Sun Sounds. And if we ever make a mistake on the grocery ads, we will hear about it. The phones will light up. And we have listeners who will tape the grocery ads and go to the store and buy what they need to buy. And they will wave the radio, their little tape recorder, and say, Sun Sound says you have this on sale. I want this price. And we have one particular listener who loves Sun Sounds, she loves the grocery ads, and she'll frequently stop by and bake us cakes with the good deals she got on the grocery ads. But that is one of our most popular programs. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities. This is how we survive. We're on the air 24/7. We can't be there reading every program, so we rely on volunteers to come in and to read the programming. And for Sun Sounds, we rely on people to come in, read programming, live and pre-recorded. We rely on people to run our control board. We have a big radio control board. We can't man it every minute of the day. We have people come in the mornings and in the evenings to help us out. We're always looking for people for office database and phone calling. We have to keep track of over 49,000 listeners around the state. That takes a lot of people and a lot of time. If we send a radio out to someone and they stop listening or they pass away, they send it back. It's the nature of the beast with our type of service. Our listeners are older adults. And we're also looking for ambassadors. These are people that go out into the community, they talk about Sun Sounds, and they go to Lions clubs and give talks, they go to disability expos, bless you, and they also go to any type of maybe different expos, different disability expos, health expos, and things like that to let the community know that we exist, because my guess is you guys didn't know who we were before you came in here. So a lot of people out in the community don't know who we are either. Also, part of the other volunteer opportunities at KJAZ, they have phone calling, and you can answer calls for a pledge drive. Same thing with KBOC, they're doing their pledge drive at KJAZ right now. And Spot 127, always looking for broadcast mentors. Next slide. And that's it. So that's what we do at Sun Sounds of Arizona. If you're interested in volunteering, come down to that 4th floor, and you will end the mystique. Stop on by. We have a reading test. It's about 15 minutes, and it's just a compilation of material that we would read throughout the week. And we test everyone, and once they pass the test, we get them going, and we try to get as many people volunteering, reading material that they enjoy on a weekly basis. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Stephen Martindale. I work with the Tempe Knowledge Commons and computer labs. We support the rest of the college by providing computers to students who do not have one available for any reason, whether it's that their computer's broken or their internet connection's down. If we go to the next slide, there we go. We do this by providing open access to all registered Rio students. If someone is taking a class anywhere within Rio, they have access to the computer lab. We also provide access to people who aren't in classes. If someone needs to register for a class, they can come into any of the labs. They just let the people know, I'm here to register. We'll help them get on a computer so that they can go and register online. We provide access to a wide variety of software, everything from Microsoft Office to the Adobe Creative Suite. So if someone doesn't have that $600 to spend on Creative Suite, they can come in and use it in the lab. State-of-the-art networking. All our computers are wired up to the internet, but people can also come into the labs with their laptops and use wireless networking. We have a customer service-oriented technical staff. If someone comes in and they're having a problem with Microsoft Office, we're there to help them. If they need to get that assignment turned in, and it's the first time they've taken a class using RioLearn, we can help them get that assignment turned in. We have flexible hours of operation, although you may notice that little bit of red small print there. Starting July 1st, our hours will be changing. However, we will still have extended hours. It's just that we will only be open until 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday rather than 9 p.m. and we'll be opening an hour later due to budget. But we made sure that we would still have those extended hours and Saturday hours for the students. So who are our main customers? Externally, that would be our in-person and online students. In the 2012-2013 fiscal year, and these numbers are only through the end of last month, so they're going to go up before the end of that, we had over 3,000 online students. And when I say 3,000 online students, those are students in classes that the computer lab teams are assisting the instructors with. Those are mainly Microsoft Office classes. We have also had over 11,000 sign-ins at the 4 lab sites. So that's quite a bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if we break 12,000 by the end of this month when the fiscal year ends. Internally, any staff, faculty, administrators, and that's not just Rio, but from any of the Maricopa community colleges, we will have people from Gateway or South Mountain who come here for a meeting, realize that they have something they need to print off from an email. They can come over to the lab, sign in, get that printed off, and be on their way, get what they need done. And if you look on there, you'll see we have had almost 550. We might reach 600 before the end of the fiscal year, times that those Rio and visiting faculty have signed on to our computers. If we go to the next slide, you'll see here where our 4 computer labs are, and you'll see they're spread throughout the valley. We have a lab in Avondale, a lab in the Sun City area. We have our northern lab. Some of you may remember that as PV Mall. It is no longer at PV Mall, but a few miles down the street. And then in the bottom corner there is the lab that is right in this building. That lab is actually just down the hall from here. Now, customer astonishment. We've got some quotes up here, but I thought I'd read just a few more because we have many, many more than can fit on this slide. But I thought some of these gave a good example of what we hear, what we like to hear. If we don't hear it, we know we're doing something wrong. But we had a student from Avondale who said, "Great feedback from the Avondale team. They were very considerate for my disability. Great team." We had another student in Avondale who said, "Thank you for being patient and helping me figure this stuff out." From the Tempe team, we had someone who said, "I just want to thank all of you for your help and support. I personally learned from this class and will be able to use it in my everyday life." So what's new with the computer labs? Well, if you look up here, Avondale has recently started offering math tutoring on Wednesday evenings. Up until then, you basically had to come here to Tempe to get tutoring, and that has proven to be very popular. At the Lifelong Learning Center, or Sun Cities Lab, we have had quite a number of classes that have made use of the computer lab space when the computer lab is closed. They're closed in the middle of the day, most days, and on the evenings on other days, and we have made that space available for classes so that those facilities can be used as much as possible. At North, since they moved in July 2011, we have had over 3,000 students make use of that lab. And the one that is big for me, because I'm based right here out of Tempe, the Tempe Computer Lab is now part of what we are calling the Tempe Knowledge Commons. We brought together tutoring, the computer lab, and the library, and we have them in one space. And actually, if we go to the next slide, we've got a picture here, and you can see over on the right, if you look at that really closely, you can see the stacks for the library in the background. We've got a bunch of tables with computers in the middle that are used both by students coming in to work on classes, and they will also work with tutors at those tables. And in the back here on the left, we have offices for the computer lab's manager, the tutoring coordinator, and the instructional facilitator for the Tempe lab. I also have my office here. I am the computer lab help desk, and I work with all 4 computer labs and assist them with both the classes as well as acting as an intermediary between the labs and the technical help desk so that when they run into problems, if they're not quite sure how to get that help desk ticket submitted, they can tell me, well, this is what's happening, and I'll make sure that gets in. And also track to make sure, things are getting handled on a timely basis. But we rarely have any problems with that. And my last slide here, I'm not going to read all these addresses, but if you review this presentation on SharePoint, I have the addresses for all 4 locations, as well as my contact information and the contact information for Patricia Anchowski, who is the computer labs manager. She is the one who is in charge overall of all 4 locations. And like I said, students can come in from around the valley for whatever reason. They don't have to pay any kind of extra fee. Employees don't have to pay any kind of extra fee. You just come in, sit down, and sign on.
David, can I ask you?
Certainly.
How are your students liking the new commons with the 3 areas together? Because that's a new kind of concept for us here at Rio.
We have actually been getting quite a few compliments. One of the biggest things is we used to be in a much smaller space with, even though it was fewer computers in that smaller space, there was very little desk room. You would have an area not much bigger than this podium, and they would have the monitor and the keyboard and the mouse and almost no space to put down textbooks. And if you remember that slide with the picture of the Knowledge Commons, most of those tables are tables about the size of the ones you're seated at here, and it's 1 computer. And so that leaves almost half the table available to put a textbook and notes. Or we'll have people who will come in and use that free space to put their laptop. It's also useful for tutoring because now someone can sit down with a tutor. Previously, if they came into the lab to tutor someone, the tutor would be occupying space that had a computer at it, which meant that even though only 1 person was actually using a computer, they were tying up 2 spaces. Now, we can have a table with 1 computer, the student sits at that, the tutor can sit next to them and work with them without keeping another person from working on a computer. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrea Banks. I'm the tutor coordinator here at Rio Salado, and today I'm going to talk about how we serve in tutoring. So what we do, we provide free tutoring to currently enrolled Rio Salado College students in a variety of formats that include online chat, in person, and via email. Tutors help students understand course content, improve study skills, and develop the confidence needed to succeed in their classes and to ultimately graduate. Through the online tutoring service that we provide, it's called Smart Thinking. And what it does, it's available to all Rio Salado College students. With this service, Rio students can log in for tutoring for the courses that they are currently enrolled in. The most on-demand subjects are available 24/7. But other subjects are available during specific hours. Things that students can do in Smart Thinking, they can upload essays for the writing tutors to review. They can communicate via live chat with an online tutor. They can share documents and upload pictures of the problem they are currently working on. They can draw on the whiteboard using a stylus and create graphs and charts on the whiteboards. Here's an example of what Smart Thinking looks like. As you can see, they have the Writing Center. Let me zoom in on that for you. They have the Writing Center, where, once again, students can post their essays and receive feedback from a tutor. We have drop-in tutoring, which is when students log on, they log in to see a tutor. And once again, most subjects are 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week, and other subjects are available during certain hours. And then we have offline questions where students can post questions and wait for a tutor's response. Our in-person tutoring is located all across the valley. So wherever a student resides, they can receive tutoring. Our main campus in the Tempe location is located at 2323 West 14th Street. It's on the 5th floor of the tower, and it's in an area called the Knowledge Commons. The tutoring services available there are accounting, biology, chemistry, English, which is writing for all subjects, geology, geography, math, physics, Spanish, and statistics. Our hours at the Tempe location are Monday through Thursday from 2 p.m. to 7, Friday and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. However, our tutoring varies depending upon the subject. Please visit our website located right at the bottom there to view the individual subjects' days and hours. Going across the valley to the southwest area, we have the Avondale location, which is located at 420 North Central Ave in Avondale. There we provide tutoring in math only. Our hours are Wednesdays from 3 p.m. to 7 and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then in the Northwest Valley, we have the Lifelong Learning Center located at 12535 West Smoky Drive in Surprise. There we provide tutoring in English and math, and our hours are Wednesdays from 2 to 7 and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. What's new in tutoring? We have combined our department with the computer lab and the library, and we are now called the Knowledge Commons. This combined resources allow students a plethora of information that helps them to be more successful in their coursework. Our goal is to provide supplemental instruction to Rio Salado students, thereby increasing student success. One of our recent student success stories is when a student came in crying and frustrated because she had not been in a class in over 30 years. So she didn't understand the material. However, upon entering the tutor area, she had tears in her eyes and a bright red face. But after working with the tutor, she began to understand the material and began to develop confidence and was better able to tackle her assignments. This is the service that we provide our students, and this is how we serve. Our contact information, you can always reach me, Andrea Banks. Once again, I'm the Tutoring Services Coordinator. For department or tutoring questions, you can dial 480-517-8247, or to speak with me directly, you may dial 480-517-8857, or please feel free to email me at andrea.banks@riosalado.edu. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.